POV. You started creating a video discussing the story revisions that you would have made to Descendants Rise of Red, and you decided to also talk about the costuming since you were already here, and then the costuming ended up taking such a large portion of the video. By the time you got to the actual story revisions, aka the whole point of the video, you had such a large amount of footage to edit that you couldn't possibly fit it in one video unless you split it up. But you wrote the whole script intending that it took place in one video, so now you have to re-edit the video in order to fit the new video topic that is discussing the design choices and suggesting some revisions in Descendants 4. So stay tuned if you want to see that video about the story revisions, but until then, I'm gonna be talking about the costumes. Enjoy. Hello everyone! Welcome to Blissful Productions! I'm Chloe D, and I gotta talk about Descendants Rise of Red. I'm going to talk about the costume designs mostly. I have a lot to say, but not everything's gonna be negative. I just desperately need to share my thoughts on these designs and to know that I am not the only one thinking this way. The plot isn't super relevant to this video, but in case you haven't seen it, the plot is described as such. After the Queen of Hearts incites a coup on Auradon, her rebellious daughter Red and Cinderella's perfectionist daughter Chloe join forces and travel back in time to try and undo the traumatic event that set Red's mother down her villainous path. So, with that little bit of context, we know that a majority of this movie is going to be taking place in the past, so before all of the events of the first Descendants. So, the fashion choices of this movie could reflect that. Basically, if they wanted to, they could create a whole new style and excuse it as this is just what they were wearing in this time period. Did they consider that? Did they perhaps pull it off? Well, we'll see. I'll begin my critiques with the costuming shortly, but before I do that, I just need to talk about the music real quick. Well, okay, more like one specific part of a single song. I'm not gonna talk about the music as a whole because it takes me like a few listens before I can actually get a real sense of whether or not I like it, and I've not done that for the movie, so it just wouldn't really be fair to it. So there's this line in this one song in this movie, and you've probably heard of it. I didn't know this line was real. It's you know the one. We all know the one. You know, it's that one. It's Jasmine and Aladdin.
Call us Aladdin.
He's like a magnet.
She's so attractive.
It's all fantastic cause we're flying high together on a magic carpet ride. Guys, I thought that was parody. I heard that for the first time as like a sound bite on a TikTok or something, and I just thought that someone made like this super cringy, cheesy little line for some parody video that they did. I did not know that was real. Y'all, someone was paid to write that. Someone wrote that, produced it, choreographed it, then had to teach it to the actors. And those poor souls had to sing that in front of people who were present, as well in front of a camera, all without visibly dying inside. I'm honestly impressed. I hope that they made some good money from that because they deserve it. I don't know if I could do that. Maybe, like, especially if I was getting paid, but it might require several takes before I can like physically tolerate any step of that process in order to like not break character. But man, my jaw dropped when I was watching the movie and that part came up. And it was the line along with the vocals. I was truly aghast. Alright, costumes. Okay, so as an artist, storyteller, character designer, and doll enthusiast, I have a lot to say about some of these designs. Some good, some not so much. But before beginning, I just want to do a little disclaimer and say that you're 100% allowed to disagree with me. You can like the designs I hate and hate the designs I like. This doesn't mean you or I have bad taste, it just means we have different tastes. And we love variety. So I kind of just want to do a quick overview statement. So because this movie involved time travel and going to the past, they did have a pretty unique opportunity of creating kind of what this world's style could have looked like throughout the decades. I don't think they really did that. It's odd because on the one hand, I do think this movie has a fashion style that is different from the previous ones. However, this fashion difference is very much present in both the present but also the past. If this stylistic difference was almost exclusively in the past, I probably would have forgiven a lot of my complaints about it because I would have considered it more of a unique time period choice, which I honestly would applaud them for even if I didn't like the outcome. But I don't think they did that, so that kind of is thrown out the window. Sorry, Descendants designers, y'all lose some brownie points in that area. So I am kind of just looking at the design of a few specific characters, judging them in my taste, but also in the context of the previous Descendants movies. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the queens. So first, we're taking a look at Cinderella, Miss Brandy. Absolutely beautiful. She has not aged a day. I love this light blue dress and like that foliage pattern on it. That's so pretty. I know she has like another dress in this movie, but I just wanted to focus on this one because this one's my favorite. I do wish that they used her natural hair. Her black hair would have been such a lovely, stunning contrast against this light dress. And like, you know, if they wanted blue, they could have like braided in some blue strands in the hair. Because right now, the hair is giving, I was designed to be a doll. And actually, that's what like all of these designs feel like. All of the designs feel like they were made to specifically be a doll. And, you know, they do make really cute dolls. But for a live-action movie, these are somewhat odd designs. Not unsettling, but odd. Okay, not gonna lie, the Queen of Hearts was kind of fire. It's not at all what I would have expected, but she looks dope. I was surprised that she didn't have like red lipstick or like a visible heart on her face, but I still really like her makeup. Like, look at that eyeshadow, the gems, just so cute. And those like freaking long nail covers, they're just so cool. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about the skirt. I think I almost love it, but there's just something about it that bothers me. It might have to do with the silhouette. I just can't quite figure it out. I am disappointed about her redesign at the end. I thought it'd be cool if like she kept some of the pink, But I do think the idea in concept is very cool. Like, they're playing around with the paint the white roses red, and I think that's quite clever. I also get that, like, they had this very specific shot planned out, and so they wanted it to be like a big reveal, and I do think that worked out. It was a very cool shot where they revealed her redesign. I'm definitely not as big of a fan of her makeup here. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with it, but just didn't. But by no means do I think that this is a bad design, it's just not my favorite. Okay, so I love blue. It's one of my favorite colors, especially light blue. But this is too much. This is too much blue. The blues are all different hues and temperatures. She looks like an alien from Zombies 3, or like a rainbow high doll. She doesn't look real. I think elements of her outfit could work, but it's like each individual piece was made to be like the statement piece, but then they just kept adding more and more until we got this. I can't decide if I love the jacket or hate it. If I were to redesign her, it would either be the first thing to go or the only thing that stayed. The pants are a big no for me. I hate them so much, and I can't even discuss them further. I just do not like them. Also, the fact that each article of clothing is like a visibly different texture makes me so uncomfortable. I think it's just like, even though I'm not the one wearing the outfit, it's like sensory overload in a way. Like, I don't like it. It gives me bad feelings. This whole outfit feels like one of the most chaotic outfits ever, but also it feels like whoever designed it was trying really hard to make it cohesive. And then that top is just not flattering on her. Like, I feel like they did this beautiful actress so dirty. Like, you know, she's the daughter of Cinderella and Prince Charming, and she likes to sword fight. There's so much potential with that design. And, oh, okay, hold on. I found a picture of her without the jacket. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, so she still looks like an alien from Zombies, but this looks so much better. It's one less texture I have to deal with, so I'm not as uncomfortable when staring at this. It's still not good, but it's a little more digestible. As an overall sentiment with all of the outfits, the colors were just like way too bright and saturated. It gives off a strong artificial feel, and I kept going back to the designs of the first movie and tried to figure out why those felt natural while these felt so out of place. And I think I got it. So taking Evie's design, for instance, like her hair is blue, and that's the color that we associate with her. But it's not slapping us in the face. The colors are rather muted and dark. Also, only her hair and top are blue. Her skirt, leggings, shoes, and accessories are all black with elements of red and white. There are hints of blue in the skirt, but not very much. And then even her top, which is the main blue feature of her outfit, has some of that blue broken up. Like, there's the red necklace, the white on the sleeves, and the red interior on the sleeves. And then her design in Descendants 2 I would consider is even more blue, but it's still conservative on where it's placed and how bright it is. She's essentially wearing a blue dress that even plays around with different tints, but it then adds more red and gold elements to help break up all that blue. I think Rise of Red was just in desperate need of additional colors to break up their monochromatic color palette and have like the saturation turned down. If I were to redesign Chloe, I would just nuke the whole thing and start from scratch. But I did some lazy design that did use kind of the initial concepts here. I'll discuss the hair later, but I revisited Chad's design and took inspiration from him. So he mostly wore pastel blue and yellow, and also occasionally had on like this muted blue. and I don't really care for my redesign, like, overall, except for the fact that I gave Chad's Ordon patch to Chloe. I just think it would be really, like, a cute idea that before she goes off to school, he gives her, like, one of his old jackets to wear so she can really feel like she fits in and belongs in that school. That would just been so sweet. And then also, if you're wondering how these two people possibly gave birth to Chad, my favorite explanation that I saw was a comment that said, the white skips a generation. Also, they do mention Chad in the movie, so I'm happy that Disney isn't doing that thing where they just ignore the existence of a previously created character for the sake of a new plot. And I mean, they somewhat are doing this, but this casting of Chad and Chloe is really quite fitting in terms of, like, the original Rodgers and Hammerstein movie. I don't know what to say about this one. I like it better than Chloe's. I appreciate that it doesn't have several different textures going on. It's still too bright and saturated, like a Rainbow High doll. I like all of the ideas, but not the end result. I think I like the jacket the most. I can't decide whether I just like it in general or if it actually fits her character. Right now, it's giving child-friendly punk rock. I think this would look a lot better if they leaned into that punk look. Like, remove that outer top layer and have, like, that mesh black top with the plain tee underneath. Give that belt some dangly chains, and give that girl a black choker. Why doesn't she have a choker already? Her vibe just screams, give me a choker. I also hate those pants. It feels like Chloe's, except in another color palette. So replace those with maybe some ripped up tights, and she can wear, like, a skirt or shorts. I'd say either have the jacket be the only red item, or make it black. I don't dislike her hair, but the style does feel a little girly for her. It's very clean. I would expect that a character who is trying to rebel against her controlling mother would have, like, some messy hair, like she cut it herself and hasn't restyled it in the past 3 days. They could have had a lot more fun with her design. And then, also, you know, this girl is gonna incorporate specifically broken hearts into her design. I tried adding a few of those. I think they're too tiny to really tell. And then also, I added a little black heart under her eye, and honestly, I could take it or leave it. I just thought I'd put it there for fun and see how it looks. I am a basic girly. My favorite color is pink. I love light pink, and I'm a sucker for hearts. And with that information, my favorite design, to absolutely no one's surprise, Miss Bridget. I know, who could have guessed? Based on what limited branding I have on this channel, who could have guessed that my favorite character would be the one with the light pink design with a lot of hearts? Shocking, I know. I particularly love the skirt. I love the heart playing cards and the dangling belt. And then she also has these white tights with, like, a line of hearts going down. And it's just so freaking cute. This is what I aspire to be. I actually don't care for the top. It's giving Nurse Joy. I kept bouncing back between a nurse and a pastry chef. It's not bad, it's just not my cup of tea. My personal favorite outfit of hers didn't even freaking appear in the movie. It's from a short story featuring my queen Nia, who's in it for like 3 seconds. I was losing my mind, like, why is no one talking about this? Did not know she was in it. But anyway, it's the Shuffle of Love short, and this outfit's my favorite. I absolutely adore the top. I honestly just take this top and this skirt and combine it together, and then this outfit would be a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. And I'm not gonna lie, like 30% of the reason I watched this movie was because of this outfit, and that contributed to my overall disappointment. I was very mad when the credits rolled and I did not see Bridget in this outfit. And then also the other 70% of why I watched this movie was because of the clip that took place at the end of the Shuffle of Love short where Bridget looks in the looking glass. So basically the entire reason I watched this movie was invalid, and now I'm here making this video complaining about it. Okay, and also Bridget is wearing like this really cute skirt and top in this scene, and I want it so badly. And I actually really like Red's top in here too. Like, I think that's really cute as well. And then Chloe is there as well, and she is definitely wearing something. Yep. I wanted to talk about Ella's design real quick. I honestly really like the concept. I believe that I get where they were going with this, and I really like that idea. I think that was a good idea, but I'm just not a fan of the outcome. So, like, the homemade feel works really well for her, but this specific dress looks like it was a bunch of pairs of cut-up jeans sewn together, and that just feels really out of place in this specific world. Like, have we even seen a genuine pair of jeans up to this point in the Descendants franchise? I'm not actually sure. So I do like the kind of homemade, cut-up, sewn-together, stitched look, just not really with this fabric choice. I don't have much to say about Uliana's design, except that I love it! It seems to have, like, all the elements that I liked in the previous movies, and it also lacks, like, the new stylistic elements that I dislike in this movie. She just looks so cool. I love the long hair and all the colors in her design. It's like having those dark and muted colors really help make, like, the brighter ones shine. I just had to take a moment to show that I don't hate all of the designs in this movie. I like and at least appreciate quite a few, and I just needed to take a moment and give some Uliana appreciation, because I just really like her design. I think it's really cool and well done. So, like I said, that's all. I didn't have much to say. I just wanted to fangirl real quick. Yes, I am literally dedicating an entire section of this video to talking about the wigs. I know, like, everyone and their mother have talked about how Chloe's wig is changing in, like, every single scene, but so does everyone else's. Like, every character in this movie that wears a wig is, like, changing their wig every 2 to 3 business days. Like, each character must have 20 wigs. Like, look at this! Look at this! You cannot convince me that this is the same wig. I had a hard time finding, like, individual pictures of what I thought were different wigs, especially for certain characters, but I could have sworn that Red had at least 4 different wigs that I noticed while watching this movie that, like, were of the same style. And then Bridget had somewhere between 4 and 6 that I noticed. It's hard to tell, because sometimes it's like, oh, did they just restyle this wig a little bit different, or did they just completely get a new wig? I didn't even try to count Chloe's, because hers is like 1,000, I think. And then, like, Red's changes were more subtle overall, but, like, really, these 2 wigs aren't the same. So I'm like, when y'all are gonna be talking about how they should just stick to one wig, know that that should go for all the characters. All of the characters have 50 wigs each. It's not just Chloe. She was the only one whose wig changed so drastically and frequently that we just couldn't help but notice. All the other characters were fairly more subtle in their changes, although some of them I think were more extreme, but we were just distracted by Chloe's wig, that we didn't notice that everyone else's were changing as well. So I'm gonna start with my favorite wig first. Surprise, surprise, it's Bridget. Like I said, I'm a basic girly, I like pink, and this is my favorite wig of hers. It's because it looks the most natural, and I suspect that it's a lace front because look at that hairline. That part. Seamless. Chef's kiss. But you know, like I said, every single character has a bunch of wigs, so this is my favorite of hers, but these other ones are also really pretty, but they just look a lot more like a wig. And also, some of them change colors, like Bestie, that's not the same color. Those are two different colored wigs. Like, why did they do this? Like, okay, this one is my least favorite of her wigs. First of all, it was the only time during the movie I noticed a visible color change in the wig. But then, oh, just the hairline. And the hair follicles. It's just not very good. The hairs look so thick and stiff. Now, I will say, as someone who has tried to style a wig into a ponytail, you can't make it look good. You can only make it not absolutely terrible, but like, could have gone for a different style, like low pigtails. That could have been cute, and it would have been easier to pull off. Also, it doesn't help that her makeup feels really off in this scene as well. I think it's her eyeliner, like it might be just sticking too straight up. And just this whole scene, I was distracted by her wig and the makeup. And I'd like to note that in Shuffle of Love, like in that short, she's wearing this same PJ outfit, but it's without that atrocious wig. It's a different one, and it looks so much better. I can actually appreciate the fact that she's wearing cute PJs. Well, yeah, let me know which one is your favorite Bridget wig, because I honestly liked almost all of hers. So I went to r/Descendants subreddit, and allegedly, the potential budget of this movie is $85 million, which is honestly ridiculous. I almost didn't believe it until I kind of started looking at the budgets of other Disney movies, and then it kind of seemed like a little more realistic. I can only assume 90% of this budget went towards the wig collection. I don't understand why they did this. I think Disney must just love spending money that they don't need to spend. Even just with the wigs, like I can get having like 2 to 3 wigs for some style variety, but like most of the time, the wig in the movies were being switched up for no reason. Like for Chloe, we were joking around, like she has like 10 plus wigs that are supposed to be the same style and hair. Like us, the audience, aren't supposed to think, oh, she changed up her hair today. Like when Bridget, how sometimes she has her hair curled and then sometimes it's a little more straight. No, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why they did this. And not to mention, there's sometimes a drastic shift in quality. I feel like out of the 10 wigs per character, they all get like one really nice high quality wig, and then they also all get one really crappy wig that screams, I'm a wig. Now, granted, all of them are higher quality than like Party City wigs, so there's that. But sometimes the quality of it just suddenly drops and it destroys the illusion that these characters have colorful hair. What makes me really mad is that the actress who plays Chloe has such beautiful natural hair. It would have been such a breath of fresh air to have her character rock her natural curls, especially when contrasted with all of the rainbow colors. I have similar feelings toward the actress playing Teen Ella. Like, I'm sorry guys, but that wig is just ugly. The actress, beautiful. The wig, not so much. Oh, to think what we could have had. I attempted to draw Malia's hair to see what it could have looked like, and guys, it's so much better. Like, I still hate the outfit, and even with my redesign, I don't fully care for it, but her natural hair just looks so much better. No longer does she look like the fourth member of that alien trio from Zombies. Like, she looks like a person now. I actually really like wigs, like, in general. Like, I feel like I come off as a big wig hater in this video, but I do really like wigs. But comparing the wigs in this movie to the ones earlier in the franchise, there's a huge difference. These are large, puffy wigs, and many are just fully monochromatic. The older ones do a better job at mimicking natural hair. Like, you could almost convince me that some of these characters just dyed their hair for this role. And there's also a lot of color depth to it. Like, Evie's hair isn't just blue. It has various color strands that are sewn into it. This makes it look much more natural. And this was also used as a visual storytelling tool to show the difference between the villain kids and the Oradon prep kids. So, like, all the villains, or most of them, would have some kind of dyed hair, while all of the Oradon prep kids would have their natural hair. This kind of showed, like, that visual distinction between these two groups. But here, everyone has naturally colorful hair, so, like, the rebellious villain kids aren't really that different. Now, I already mentioned that I don't have, like, much of a problem with Red's wig. It's mostly the fact that it's straight bright red and the hairstyle feels a little off for her character. But then I saw a picture of the actress, and now I'm mad at what we were robbed of. Look at this! Look at her! Look at what we could have had! Absolutely fire! That would have looked so freaking cool. RIP to this whole cast with beautiful natural hair that had to wear wigs. I tried to redesign Red's hair with Kylie's in mind, as well as, like, that punk rock style. And this drawing was not my best work, I'm just gonna tell you right now, but imagine how it would translate into real life. I think that would look sick. It would have also saved Disney some money. Like, you still gotta have hairstylists on set for wigs, but now you have also added the production cost of manufacturing all of those wigs. And so for Kylie here, the extra expense would just be occasionally re-dyeing her red streaks, which I'm sure Disney could afford on that $85 million budget. Honestly, that's all I really have to say about the designs. When I decided to create this video, even though, like, the main reason was to give story critiques, I just had to take this as an excuse to rant about some of these designs. I have yet to see a deep analysis like this, and that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, it just means I haven't seen it. Please let me know how you would redesign these characters, especially Chloe. Like, what would you do? What would you change or keep? And how do you think my redesigns did in addressing those areas that I disliked? So that is it. Initially, I wanted to discuss my alternate ending ideas for Descendants 4, but I didn't want to make a video that was well over an hour, and I guess I just had a lot more to say about the designs than I initially thought. So I hope you enjoyed. Remember to drink some water, go put some gas in your car, and take your vitamins. Okay, bye.